In this neighborhood, everyone has a dog, and no one is prepared for it. The dogs are never seen, like the first wife in a Victorian novel. They don't have to be seen to be real and everywhere. The same walls that are supposed to push the heat outside let the sound of the dog's discontent in, and the cold in the winter. It may seem like winter can't touch this place, but when your olive oil freezes, or when the foam of your mattress hardens against memory, it becomes clear that winter has a different sort of power here. The dogs do not distinguish between a hot day or a cold one, between sun or the kind of torrential downpour that would be the storm of the century in any other state. All day they bark, one setting off the other in a domino of discord. And just when you think you've become accustomed to the sound, it stops. The most satisfying feeling in the world isn't pleasure, but the abatement of pain. It's not a silence you can trust. The moment you lower your defenses and your shoulders, the barking begins again, louder, more insistent. And it is not the noise or the persistence that gets you, but the fact that you are home for it, here for it. And while all the people who got dogs, even though they were not home enough to tend to the dogs, are out doing whatever it is that keeps them away for so long, you're inside, expecting one day you will wake up and your life will be different. And you will be the kind of person who is needed for 10, 11, 12 hours at a stretch. A person with a purpose. But not today. You're not. It's just you and the dogs. And you could scream for hours, too.
We were good at being trees, long ago. We'd been years with our knots, tallying the rains and dry spells with careful accuracy. We shared conversation with the wind, the squirrels, the spiders. We shared quiet with the clouds before they burst. We were good to look at, too. We were tall trees, well-grown. We stood 80 foot high and 3 foot around, and our bark a flat, glassy gray, a few fishes mapping our journey through seasons. In the winter, our buds were the color of coffee, dark brown and velvety, and each spring we exploded green. The animals walked our branches, the breezes pushed at our leaves, and the wind helicoptered our seeds to bury almost trees in the earth. We were experts at being trees. We still had 100 good years left, and we weren't interested in being anything else. But the three were walking in our wood one day, and they noticed how tall and proud we were. They asked, would we mind being humans? And though we didn't know what that was, we said we would mind very much. We pointed out what fine trees we made, and the three threw back their heads and laughed like wolfhounds. Then we were new things, human things, people. The three took our soft pink hands in their hard, hairy ones and gave us new names. You're the first, they said. You are the beginning. The three knocked their hard heads together and made a fierce storm. And when it was over, a kingdom of people had grown up around us. The three encircled it with a vast, sparkling fence, a dangerous necklace around our throats. And we learned to sing and speak and to hunt and swim and to climb into the branches of trees that were still trees and beg for death. We wept to be so unanchored, but we did not die. We miss the wind's chattering company and the clouds' damp silence. And we sighed to see our animal friends shrink and run before us. And yet we did not die. We grew and changed and multiplied for many ages until the gods themselves passed out of the world and no one remained who had known us as trees. We are not good at being people. We are weak, our minds and bodies soft and pliable, our histories marred by violence and loss into unsteady seasons, bearing ragged bark and stunted fruit. It is easy to make new people, but difficult to grow them, these restless ones that take so long to leave the nest. We are unsure, always. Even now we long for leaves, and we sometimes leave this world early, hoping that we may shed these human bodies for the punitive grace of greening branches and deep, steady roots once more.
My mother said, "This is the world we live in." She said, if I had $1 for every time that door slammed. She said, "You'll understand when you're older." She said, "You have to pick your battles. This is called taking one on the chin. This is called compromise. This is called marriage." My mother said, the habits of good grooming are non-negotiable. She said, a lady's best accessory is her smile. She said, skinny, bowed legs can be made up for with good posture. She bought the shampoo with 1 whole egg in every bottle. She taught me to push back my cuticles with an orange stick. We make the most of what we are given. My mother said, grow petunias. They can withstand a lot of abuse. She said, grow only what can adapt. She said, he reminds me a lot of your father. She said, I beg you not to marry him. She said, beware when a man calls you angel. Every earthly thing you do will disappoint and enrage him. You do not want to be any man's angel. I was the only girl in the 7th grade who had not been invited to the boy-girl pool party. But I didn't know this. I just assumed and showed up. They sent me home. But one girl gave me a cupcake, and I ate it walking home in my new striped bikini. My mother said, love everyone, but trust few. She made me instant pistachio pudding. It was green with pieces of nuts in it. She served it in a coffee cup. She said, All of your life will be just like this.